Guys, I hope everyone's doing good. Today I want to talk about a little company that I know a little bit about called Palantir. The ticker symbol is PLTR. Palantir is my largest stock position. Palantir is an absolute beast, and Palantir has been beat up for the last little while. However, there's a lot of reasons why you invest in Palantir. Palantir right now, in its soul, believes that it's fighting for good versus evil. Right now, it's supporting a little country called Ukraine against a very large country called Russia. For all intents and purposes, Ukraine is the inferior army. Ukraine is the inferior fighting force, and Ukraine should have been taken over months ago. Ukraine's takeover should have taken Russia approximately 1 month. It is now ongoing for over 6 months. Russia, which was believed to have the second or third largest, strongest, most efficient, most technologically advanced army in the world, is not exactly showing so much strength. As a matter of fact, it's showing a lot of cracks and chinks in its armor. Why? Well, there's a lot of different reasons, but one of the main reasons why Ukraine is able to fight back is Palantir. And I'm gonna make the connection really soon. So Dr. Alex Karp was the first CEO of an American company that actually came to Ukraine. While other CEOs are talking in Zooms and in conference rooms from abroad, bro, this guy literally came to Ukraine to talk to Ukraine. In the earnings calls, 2 earnings calls, not this last one, even the one before that one, Dr. Alex Karp and Shyam Sankar said there's gonna be a lot of contracts that we're signing, but we didn't physically actually sign. And that means that we're gonna be getting a lot of money coming later, or at least that's what it means to me. And there is obviously a connection right now between Palantir and Ukraine. But more importantly, I'm gonna show you the actual connection that was discovered by no other than Chris Patel. That's the guy that I have a bet with, Snowflake versus Palantir, where he caught an article, and in the background of the Ukraine's minister was literally Palantir Gotham. And all of a sudden in the headlines this week, all you hear is Ukraine is gaining traction. Ukraine is taking back land. Ukraine is fighting off Russia. And you're like, wow, what the heck is going on? So if Ukraine proves victorious, or if Ukraine proves not unvictorious, which means that it doesn't necessarily have to win because you're not going to invade Russia, it has to not to lose. Even if there's some type of compromise over here, Ukraine already wins. People are going to say, how is it possible that Ukraine won against Russia, or a perceived win against Russia, which already right now we have a perceived win against Russia? One of the main things is not physical superiority, not air superiority, not land superiority, not sea superiority, technological superiority. And what exactly is the technological superiority right now? Palantir is the main difference. Palantir is the deciding difference of what's happening right now in Ukraine. You guys don't have to believe me. You guys can think I'm full of shit, and that's okay. It's very easy to watch one video and be like, there's no connection. But we've been making connections on this channel and other fantastic YouTubers for the longest time between Palantir and Ukraine. It's not just about assisting and helping Ukraine. It's about showing and proving that Palantir is much needed if you are any country of an inferior size. If you are a smaller army, if you are a smaller strength, you need Palantir. One of the countries that I'm almost positive is using Palantir or about to use Palantir is of course going to be Taiwan with China. And I'm almost positive South Korea is using Palantir with North Korea. Dr. Alex Karp literally was talking to a guy called Stanley Duncan-Bunker, I forgot his last name. And they were talking about the whole thing. And Alex Karp said, we are trying to make countries not that win wars, but countries that are so superior with technology that invading countries don't want to invade. We don't want to take over Russia. We want Russia not to take over other countries, right? So we want a defensive barrier. Like, yo, leave us the hell alone. And the only way to do that, if your army is not superior, is with technological superiority. So technological superiority and logistics on top of a fighting soul. I'm not taking nothing away from the Ukrainians because these guys are fighting tooth and nail. On top of that fighting soul and short-range to mid-range armament is making all the difference against this absolute behemoth of an army we call the Red Army, we call Russia. Let me show you this tweet really fast from Chris Patel, and this guy is beautiful for finding this. Guys, if you're not following Chris Patel, you definitely should. At Chris Patel 99, very, very smart guy, above and beyond just stocks. He does play puts, he does play calls, he plays options, and he's also into real estate. And I had the privilege of speaking to him as well. He's getting a little bit of hate from the Palantir community, but I promise you he loves Palantir. He's gonna buy back into Palantir, mark my words, and I'm still gonna whoop his ass by December 31st, 2023, and I'm gonna win my $2,000 bet, my Palantir versus his Snow. This was an article that came out. Biden seeks $47 billion for Ukraine, COVID-19, monkeypox disaster. The article is on the bottom. Chris puts out a tweet. Pretty sure that we're looking at is Palantir Gotham. And if you click on this screen, look at that. That is Palantir Gotham. Like, we can't confirm this 100% without a doubt, but that is Palantir Gotham. If you guys seen the videos of Palantir, that is Palantir Gotham. Now, I don't know if this leaked and it was supposed to leak or not, or we're just doing some amazing investigation work, but that is Palantir Gotham. And this is the original article. Biden seeks $47 billion for Ukraine, and this came out on September 2nd. President Joe Biden is asking Congress for $47 billion, and he wants $13.7 billion related to Ukraine, including money for equipment, intelligence support, and direct budgetary support. I don't even know what it means, but including money for equipment and intelligence support. Very, very important. Intelligence support. This is an article from Wall Street Journal. There's dozens of such articles. Ukraine takes the offensive. The wild card is how Putin responds. Will he use a nuclear weapon? He's not going to use a nuclear weapon because if he does, everyone dies and we have nothing to worry about. God forbid, but I don't think he is. Ukraine's counteroffensive against invading Russian forces is an important turn in the war, though not without peril, as Vladimir Putin calculates how to respond. In less than a week, Ukraine forces have retaken some 3,000 squared kilometers from Russian invaders. That's more Ukrainian territory than Russia has seized since April. The Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kharkov Oblast is routing Russian forces and collapsing Russia's northern Donbas axis, says the Institute for the Study of War. The counteroffensive's early success is notable for its planning and deception. Technological superiority. Guys, I'm not going to give Palantir all the credit here, but obviously Palantir has something to do with this. Ukraine's advertised for months that it was planning to advance in the country's south around the city of Kherson, and Russia sent reinforcements there. Ukraine has made some gains in the south, but it seems to have caught the Russians by surprise around Kharkov. Kharkov is in the north. How better to understand what's happening with Russia than to have satellite imagery, meta-constellation of Palantir? How better to understand the movements of where Russia is going and the capabilities of Russia to switch and get to where the attack is going to be than to use Palantir? Remember, Palantir analyzes millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of data points in near real instant time. I'm talking about just a few seconds. Guys, Palantir can find a piece of debris the size of this in outer space. How you not gonna love Palantir? Now, I'm gonna say this again and again. I'm not giving Palantir full credit for what's happening in Ukraine. However, I am giving Palantir 100% the most credit when it comes to the technological advancements of surveillance, deployment, and strategy advantage because they have Palantir. And Palantir is able to be, the saving grace when it comes to the technology aspect of what's going on. Of course, the Ukrainian army is doing what they got to do and they're doing the right thing. But having all of this data points instantly, it's a freaking game changer. Now you got to ask yourself, well, Adam, that's great, but how does this transcend to the money? How does this transcend to actually making money? Well, it's possible that Ukraine is not paying for any of these contracts right now, and they will be paying for these contracts. Well, Ukraine is getting a lot of money from the United States government. You might agree, you might not agree. That's not a debate here. That money that's coming to Ukraine, a lot of that money is coming to Palantir. When is Palantir going to actually realize those gains? When is Palantir actually going to see that money? I have no idea. But I would assume it will come in sometime in 2023. And now when we're going to look back on this and it's going to come out like, imagine the Ukrainian Defense Ministry or Vladimir Zelensky is going to come out and be like, hey, Palantir was a vital link in the chain for the defeat of Russia. Or Palantir was vital in defending against Russia, right? Or Palantir allowed our small country, plus our grit and determination and fighting will to win. Something like this. And they might do that because Palantir is helping them out and they're doing them a salad by giving them Palantir Gotham. So who knows what's going to happen? Now, if it's going to be good for Ukraine, there's going to be a shit ton of countries that are economically strong, like a Taiwan, like a South Korea, and a lot of other countries as well that are going to be like, hey, we're independently super strong, but physically strong, right? We fear that we might be invaded, or physically we fear that somebody might attack us. There's going to be a lot of countries like that that are going to start buying up Palantir left and right. That's my personal thesis. Now, if you don't want to buy Palantir directly, and I'm not saying to buy, sell, trade, or do anything because I'm not a financial advisor, purely entertainment and education, but I am telling you to hit the like, share, and subscribe down below. Please give me those likes. Then you might want to look into leaps. So contract calls are leaps that are over a year. Well, the leaps just opened up for January 2025. As of last week, it was January 2024. So now you're going to have the full 2023, the full 2024, and a few extra months of 2022. So you're going to have approximately 26 months for those leaps to be realized. You might lose, you might win, but it's just a strategy. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day. The Berg is out.